What's up? This is Drvco.
And this is Alicia.
And you're now tuned in to OD
Podcast. Period. What's going on?
Hey.
Honey.
Hey.
I can see the stars all the way from here. Can't you see the glow?
Oh.
OD Podcast pain.
All right, you take stuff so far.
All right. So welcome back. This is episode number 86 of OD Podcast. What's good?
Okay, 86. Wow.
We're almost to 100.
Gotta do something special for our 100th episode, and I think you know what I mean.
Yes, it's everybody to send us $1.
Okay.
Okay,
that wasn't quite what I was thinking, but you know.
So for that thing that you thinking, it should be here.
I think that for the thing that we got that we're planning, we should drop it when 100 episode drop.
Oh, it'll be ready by the end. We'll have our copy of it.
Okay.
I just checked it yesterday.
Say less.
Period. Y'all know we talk about All right. So first things first, I want to bring up stuff we don't mention often. Each and every episode is brought to you by Audible. For a free audiobook and 30-day trial, visit audibletrial.com/OD podcast. The link is in the show notes. It's going to be there each and every time we drop a new episode. So if you ever forget that link, it is there. I appreciate the people who have using it, but we want to keep the lights on. So make up some email addresses. You gotta do, sign up under your grandma. It don't even matter. Just, make sure you cancel the trial in time so you don't get charged, but use our link so we get paid. You know what I'm saying? So first things first, Black Business of the Week. I noticed that we did not even do it last week. And I want to highlight.
Wait, we didn't do one?
I just left the same one up twice on the notes, which was Raina Noriega. Ain't nobody perfect. Who finna fight us?
Me.
All right, so anyway, I wanted to shout out TruColor Bandages, which is a Band-Aid company that I actually followed them for a while on Instagram, but I didn't really need Band-Aids. I'm just like, I want to support these businesses, but I don't want to be in a position where I'm just spending money to be spending money. You know what I'm saying? So I had burned myself while cooking recently, and the Band-Aids that I had just kept falling off my skin. And you know why? They were old. I had the same Band-Aids since my first apartment in 2014, and I never really needed them. So they just was the adhesive was just coming loose. It was to the point where the wrapper on the Band-Aid wouldn't even I touched it and it just ooh, boom, Band-Aid. So anyway, I was like, okay, perfect. This is a perfect opportunity for me to try TruColor Band-Aids, and so they are available at Target. I think there's a couple other retailers that carry them, but I live by Target, and when I say live by, I mean proximity and mentally. So I went in and they have.
I have no idea.
Their initiative is just to provide Band-Aids that kind of align with majority of people's skin tone. So they have I bought two. So I bought like a dark brown and I bought like a mocha brown kind of. And the reason why is because certain parts of my body are darker than the other. And honestly, it's pretty cool. I feel like it's one of those cases where if I needed to wear a Band-Aid, I probably could even put on a little makeup to blend it in a little bit. But it was essentially the same color, as my skin. That's pretty cool. And I know it's not always necessarily needed for Band-Aids, but it's nice if you have somewhere to go or if you want to take pictures. You don't want to have a darn Superman, Spider-Man Band-Aid or a white Band-Aid, messy your picture up. I mean, you can Facetune it and all that, but why do that? We can just buy TruColor Band-Aids. So anyway, you can check out TruColor Bandages at TC Bandages on Instagram. So that's TCBANDAGES. As always, the direct link will be in the episode notes, but check them out, y'all. They have a whole spectrum variety of color tones, just kind of like makeup.
Okay, then. I remember this one episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kanye was slick beefing with Kim because she didn't have skin tone Band-Aids in the house. He needed a Band-Aid.
Regular Band-Aids is her skin tone Band-Aids.
Right. He needed a Band-Aid, and then when she was bringing it to him or something, he was like, why don't we have the skin tone Band-Aids? This isn't my skin tone. So she had to go get it. And she felt like he was being a baby.
I mean, yeah, he was being a baby because it's not that deep. But I get it, though. You know what? I'm not going to say it's not that deep. Who am I to tell people it's deep for them or not? But it's Kanye we talking about. So, like I said, It's not that deep.
I can't believe that man was in damn Georgia the other day just chilling.
Yeah, he was in Griffin and then he was in Fayetteville. He was out there trying to get that MAGA vote. But anyway.
Right, on the south side.
That is not the South. That don't even count as the South Side.
To me, it do because I live there.
South Georgia. Clarify. South Georgia, not South Georgia.
Well, when I used to live with my sister, we lived in Jonesboro, which was like 10, 15 minutes from Fayetteville, and Lovejoy and Griffin was the next city over, and that was like 5 minutes down the road.
Oh my goodness. I think I was gonna go to Gordon College at one point, and that's in Griffin. And my cousin, when we were younger, she got her driver's license in Griffin because she heard that they were more lenient on on the test.
Oh my God, why my mama took me to the one in Conyers, because they said the same thing and I failed.
But what's funny is like, why did we think that? Because I mean, you do the test in the parking lot. I mean, when I got my test, I actually had to drive around a subdivision by South DeKalb Mall. I was like, I don't think we're supposed to be going here, sir. But I passed.
Oh yeah, South DeKalb Mall.
It wasn't even in the hood, but I just was under the impression that the test was like in the parking lot.
My actual license test was the worst experience of my life, but I passed it the first time. But I took it at the one on Roswell Road by your old house.
Yeah.
In the plaza. Mm-hmm. So I went there. I made an appointment. Actually, because I was going to a driving school at the time, they made the appointment for me because that was a part of the school. I took like a 1 week driving course, and then afterwards, they set up my driver's test. It took
your driving course was a week. My job was 1 day, and that was enough for me.
Well, it wasn't a full week. It was like 2 days out the week.
That's still good though, yeah.
And then we got there to take the test because they let me use their car for the test. Do you not know that it took them 4 hours to start my test?
Why?
I don't know.
They didn't say nothing, so you just sitting there for 4 hours and didn't ask no questions?
Like they kept saying I was next, but I wasn't, and it was like 4 hours.
It sounds like you're still working through that. You okay?
I just don't understand why it was so long. I mean, I passed it the first time, so it don't matter.
I passed, but barely. I definitely got a 75, and I dare anybody to check me about it. I'm a bare minimum type of girl. What I need to get through,
I got like a 90.
Oh, okay. Congrats. Well, you know what's funny? Like I said, I had 1 day of driving lessons, and that was the only time I had ever driven a car in my life. So I deserve to fail. But I don't care how much I need to pass. I'll take it.
Yeah. It's all good.
All right. So anyway.
You got some shop talk today?
I do have a little shop talk.
I definitely do. Cause it's hot. The tea is hot, baby.
It's the tea for me. I mean, this is kind of like revisiting shop talk. The Kobe Bryant passing away is something that still kind of bothers me. And I don't really know why it necessarily bothers me. I think it's just how iconic he is and how young he was.
Yeah.
I remember the day that we were recording with Janae and it happened. And it was one of those things where I'm like, no, he didn't. Like, is this real? You know what I'm saying? And I just kind of feel bad for his wife and his family because, you know, I think it was Jada Pinkett who said, like, the biggest heartbreak you'll have in a relationship is death. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's heartbreaking, right? And I just can't imagine, you know, you marry somebody and the plan is to grow old together and to raise your children and watch them, you know, graduate and, you know, accomplish certain things in life. But I just cannot imagine not only losing my husband, but losing somebody who was so visible and having to kind of grieve through that.
Yep. And then lose your child on top of that.
Yes. And your child, please. Oh Lord, don't let me forget that. Yes, his child. It's just like, so now it's 2. And I remember one of her daughters mentioning that fan pages would tag them in these posts and all this other stuff. And, you know, they don't mean any harm, but it's like, y'all, like how, like you can't like, it's easy to be like, oh, just stay off the internet. But that's also not really realistic given like this age that we're in. Yeah. So I just really feel bad for them. It's really sad. Honestly, I just hope I don't, when that time comes for me and my partner, that we just die together because I don't even want to face it.
Yeah. The internet is just weird anyway, as it is. Like, I feel like, with social media, it's so sad because you come on as a place to, like, you know, have fun and just I try to keep my timeline more on the artistic side. Like, I try to follow a lot of like makeup artists, photographers, like stuff like that. I do follow some like Instagram personalities, stuff like that, but for real, I read the comments sometimes on people's pictures and I'm just like, wow. Like, even under the shade room I I've noticed that I think that what happens is people comment certain things under the Shade Room post to get followers, and I've learned that that's like a tactic to do, but
they'll say anything, whatever it takes to get some kind of
literally,
page impressions. Yeah.
and I'm just like, it's not that deep. Like, it's really not that deep. Like, honestly, if I didn't make money off of Instagram, I probably wouldn't be on there that much, to be honest.
You don't know how many times I wanted to delete my Instagram. Like, dang, I gotta promote the podcast.
It's just like I gotta have social media just because that's like, huge for my business. But for real, like that shit is crazy. The way that people just really, I think for me, what really just set it different for me was the fact that I actually saw somebody with my own eyes from a fake page writing stuff under people's pictures.
Mental
I said,
illness.
okay, so this is really like a thing. In my head, I would want to believe that it's like a machine or some bots doing this, but it's real people.
Let me tell you something. I know it's trendy to have a Finsta, but it's one thing to be
wrong with that.
Huh? No, I'm about to make my point. It's one thing to have a Finsta, and it's another thing to be stalking people's pages from a fake page, or to be trolling from a fake page, or to be, pretending to be other people.
Yes.
It's just so much weird stuff that has come out of social media. Like you said, like people who literally say rude or disrespectful things to get traction, and like they don't even care. They just want to see their page views. Like it kind of like makes them high a little bit. And it's always one of them pages that's got like
about that.
Huh?
I don't understand why people get off on stuff like that.
It's
like
so weird. Like y'all, all these followers, these people want to be at your funeral. These people don't like you or know you in real life. It's really weird. And I always want to believe it's just a kid, because I feel like kids do stupid things. I remember even in MySpace page there were trolls. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's just so much in current day social media. It's just like weird, man. But like you said, seeing somebody do it, and it's like, what do you get out of that? Like, what does that do for your family?
That was my exact words. I'm like, well, so what is that doing for you?
Let me tell you something. Just know it's some fake pages that always see my stories.
Okay? Oh, I know.
And they don't follow me. They don't have followers. And I know who you are. Okay. I know you listen to this podcast. Okay. Let it go.
I don't even, you know what's so crazy? I don't even watch my views on my stories.
I don't either. I want to know how long they've been doing it, because I was like, hold on.
That made me want to check right now.
You shouldn't even remember me.
Okay, now you dragging
it. Yeah, I normally don't check, honest to God, but I think the day that I did notice it is I had an exceptionally high number of views. I think I realized that if the more I post in one day on my stories, the more views my stories get. And so I was like, dang, who all these people is? And I see this one particular one. I'm like, honey, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine now. I know all these people. I think the people that you don't know be at the bottom, don't they?
Well, who knows? Because this, I mean, you might be right, because this page be at the top.
Oh, really?
Not at the tip top, but it'd be. So I read that it's based on who views your page the most, but I don't think that's accurate. And it could be, I don't know.
I feel like mine is like people that I follow, they be at the top, and then
the people I don't follow do be at the bottom. But this particular page I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue. But I will say you, Desiree, and a couple of other people be at the top of mine. So maybe it is based on that. Based on like who you engage with.
one time I was following this boy, and I don't follow him anymore, I don't think. No, I don't. But I was following him at one point, and he was posting on his story, and Beyonce watched it. He kept refreshing it, and then he ended up just screenshotting. It was like, bro,
is it real? Because remember what I thought Masika was looking at my story, and I found out she was
real.
Well, yeah, I don't see Beyonce paying to have those kind of views. I get a lot of blue checks in my views, and I'm like, I
don't follow nobody. So it was like, how did you find me?
She was just navigating. Dang, that's fire. What did he post?
So I was like, I be thinking in my head, I think he posted something about her, but he posts things like about artists and stuff on his page, and they get a lot of views and likes and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that's probably why she came there. But I think he posted like something funny about her.
Beyonce view my story. I'm telling everybody we friends, and I'm gonna sell my account.
Doing that though because her shows, she be using people's Instagram videos as her background. Like
Oh,
people that make
true.
funny stuff, like she always be using it.
Did I ever tell you my cousin was featured on her website?
No.
Yeah, I have a cousin who's an activist. I think this might have been last year, maybe the year before last. But basically, Beyonce recognized like Black women that were like doing things to push the community forward, and my cousin was one of them. Bye. Every time I see, I'm like, have you talked to Beyonce?
I'm sorry. Drugs are a real thing. This boy that I know, when I just looked at my story, I just seen. I ain't seen him in a long time. I don't follow him. I just went on his page and he has COVID-19 tattooed on his forehead.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. I thought it was fake, but
Stop
it's not.
playing. Send it to me.
I am right now. Sorry if you're listening, friend, but this really just tore me up looking at this.
Oh, one of our friends know him too. What's that about?
I want to know the significance behind it. Maybe I asked.
Let me read this.
Maybe I won't, because I do get irritated when people ask me about my face tattoo. Either one of them, I get so annoyed. I mean, because it's like I don't get annoyed with explaining what it means or why I got it, but people don't come at me negatively. Like look at like already be frowning. Like, oh,
Right, let my mama tell her tattoos look like dirt.
why you get it? What does it mean? Like, don't give that.
That's something you asked when you're 8 years old.
Even then, teach your children to be respectable.
Tell them,
People
Pooh.
don't be owing no explanation for their tattoos. It's not on your body; it's on mine. So I don't have to. I guess I need to take my own advice, but I just really want to know why the COVID-19.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Maybe you think he ain't got to get it. He won't get COVID. Anyway, all right. So what else you got for Shop Talk?
Child. The tea is that wannabe racially ambiguous Jeffree Starr is dating a basketball player from overseas overnight.
Wait, he said he considers himself racially ambiguous?
I made it up.
Oh, I'm like, what?
I said wannabe racially ambiguous.
Okay. I did. I completely missed that part. It started at race for me.
Okay. Nah, I said that because one day he want to be white, one day he want to be Beyonce or Nicki Minaj or whoever. It's the fact that he keeps talking about he didn't get his butt down for me, and the butt is looking like he sat on two balloons. But
you don't look worse than that one boy who be with the Kardashians.
Oh my God, I ain't gonna call his name out, but
it's only one.
Anywho, yeah, so he has been dating this basketball player allegedly. He posted some pictures, but honestly, I think it's clout on both ends.
Absolutely.
On both ends, because for one, I don't know if you remember. I'm pretty sure you probably don't follow him, but I don't follow him either. But I do. I am aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his ex-boyfriend Nathan, they broke up around Christmas or like a little bit after Christmas. And
Jeffree and Nathan.
Okay. And so Jeffree and Nathan was together for a long time, like 5 years, a long time. And apparently Nathan wasn't gay before he met him or something. Like, I don't know the story behind it, but I know that Nathan was like a skateboarder, like, typical whatever. I wasn't bothered by that because I'm like, both y'all white, whatever, live in y'all whiteness. But no shade. But after they broke up, Jeffree had bought him a lot of stuff because the boy was like working with his cosmetic brand, and Jeffree would just buy him gifts all the time. Like, he bought him a freaking Maserati custom. He bought him a lot of stuff, like cars, clothes, everything. So when he left, I think that he was trying to sue Jeffree I think he is in the process of suing him because of that car that he bought him, the last car. Something happened. Jeffree kept the car and changed the paint on
it. Period. Like Blac Chyna did.
The boy is trying to sue him about some money. So I'm like, he should, yeah. So my thing, he should learn his lesson from dating these people in the public eye or those type of people anyway. But
what options does he have? You think he just can find something? I mean, look at him.
I mean, granted, yeah, you will probably want somebody. I mean, who could you possibly find that could match up with somebody who's worth $75 million?
Exactly. And he has a very unique look. I mean, it's just things about him that I feel like he has to be with somebody who is just as public to even understand. I would think anyway.
But the guy who he dating, apparently, his baby mama, I don't know how old girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, she popped online talking about me waking up to see my ex dating Jeffree Starr on the Shade Room is not how I expected my day to go. But okay, that's what she tweeted.
I mean, I feel you, sir. Like,
yeah, like I don't know.
I be waking up expecting to see one of mine dating one of these. Never mind, my bad.
All right. I feel like it's very cloudy. Like it's something over there that's just not sitting right.
Well, number one, look at how they announced their relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's cloudy. Obviously, you know you're gonna shake the table when you post that. And then I saw that because you know my thing is if you want to hide, you have tattoos, you know that people are gonna figure out who you are. And I saw a picture today, I think it was on the Shade Room of him and the boy at the pool, and the boy got on sunglasses. It's like obviously you can wear sunglasses outside, but you know there's an agenda behind all this.
It's just a lot for me to take in, I guess, because I wasn't expecting it and nobody was expecting it. And just knowing the history of Jeffree Starr and just like the type of people that he hang around and the type of people that he's dated. Like I've always known him to date people that look like they were in rock bands and skateboarders and stuff like that. So I guess he like, well shit, let me try something new out. Honestly.
Right, because after all, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Honestly, I ain't gonna say I ain't got too much to say on it because obviously I do, but I mean that's just the way Hollywood is, and I don't see that as no different from, people dating like the girls dating rappers just because they're rappers, and they're probably not be like attracted to them. Like some girls see a rapper that they consider ugly or they be talking shit about him, but then they'll fuck with him because he got money and they know he can do something with him. I see it as the same thing, to be honest.
Yes, because Moneybagg Yo is not attractive.
Oh. Protect black men.
Huh? Okay, no, I'm just playing. Not that the women who have dated him aren't attracted to him, but I do feel like money and success make people more attractive. Just like being funny make people attractive or knowing how to dress.
Yeah, but
or their demeanor.
Not to sound funny or racist, but people in the industry, especially white men, they be into some real weird things, especially some of the stories that I've heard from people who live in California. So it just in my head, I'm like, it's some shit going down over there that I don't know about. I don't want to know about.
Him.
I don't want to know about it.
Something weird like that.
Baby, he live in that mansion that first of all, Jeffree Star's mansion is $14.5 million. He be in competition with the Kardashians anyway. He hates.
And it's not like they in there playing Uno. Something's going on. I always feel like the more money people have or exposed to, their interests change or they try different stuff, and it just becomes a different. Like it's a complete. Like how we can just be in a house all day, to bed, sleep. It's not possible when you got that kind of money.
Yeah, it's some stuff going on over there. Jeffree got that big old house, and he don't have that many friends. So the people that work for him live with him in the house. Yeah. He moved everybody in that house over there. It's weird.
VV.
So shout out to not shout out, but get a bag. Hopefully he used some of this Jeffree Star money to take care of his kids. The guy. I would hope that it's a bigger agenda behind this because this is just terrible. I hope he know what he's doing though, because Jeffree Star is somebody who is heavily disliked by the black community and heavily just problematic.
He probably ain't had that much to lose.
And
we didn't even know who he was. People he had like 2,000 followers when I saw his page.
Yeah. Oh, his page private now. I followed it before it was private because I knew
that's what you got. I always do that too.
I knew he was gonna do that, so I'm waiting for him to post something because
he think he protected his relationship. Little do you know, buddy.
So, that's what he wanted, though. I know this is what he was expecting. Like he was like, "Yep, I'm gonna blow up. This is a major influencer. He got money. I'm gonna blow up somehow." So,
hate to see it. Well, all right. Moving on in African American news.
Period.
So, in the past week, Megan Thee Stallion called out Tori Lanez as her shooter. The man who shot her was very clear. Huh?
We been knew.
Oh yeah, we knew, but people were starting to allege that it was her friend Kelsey. It just was getting to a point. Yeah. I think for her, his people was starting to like feed information to the blogs to make it seem like making. Man, let me tell you something. I don't like him. And you know what's so funny?
Hold on.
You in there burning sage or something?
Girl, this shit happened at 7 a.m. One time I was so scared because I'm thinking that
stop, dropping, roll.
But it wasn't no smoke, so I was like,
carbon monoxide.
The carbon monoxide going off?
Oh, like yeah, I would have been scared too. Honestly, I would have been holding my breath, trying to grab my tail fart bags.
Okay. So, what is wrong with you? All right.
So we back. All right. So basically what I was saying is, I was talking about why I didn't like Tori Lanez. So, before all this, I really had a negative impression of him. I felt like he was always in some kind of mess. It was always something going on. It was even a point where his plane almost crashed. I'm just like, why is trouble always following you? What's wrong?
Yeah.
And he was never really on my radar. I did know some songs from his, but I have never played a single album. I don't even know if I ever played his music ever, aside from hearing it on the radio. And this is not to like downplay his talent or anything like that. I'm just saying like he was not somebody I was interested in. Now, I will say during quarantine radio, I was like, let me check this out. Everybody having fun. And I feel like this was like something that really made him more likable in people's eyes because it was fun and we were seeing crazy stuff. It was just a good time. And then this happens with Megan, and it's like a reminder of all the stuff that people said that he's done to them over the years. And it's just like, it's like literally the rise and fall of Tori Lanez during quarantine. Yeah, not even a whole year. I mean, just since COVID started, because he was in a position where he was out of his contract with his label. He's an independent artist. He had all these deals and stuff lined up to do things to enhance his career, and then boom, you want to shoot a black woman.
Yeah. I ain't really know about too much stuff that went on in previous life. Or at least I don't think so. Maybe it's not coming to my brain.
Yeah, Dream Doll had some things to say about him.
I remember that, and she did a diss record.
Oh yeah, she sure did. And there was a couple other people. I'm sorry, I don't have my facts straight. I just know I've heard enough about him to be like, no, thank you. And I've seen videos of him being in drama. Who was he beefing with at one point?
Wasn't Chris Brown? I remember.
It wasn't.
Was it? He got Drake? A song with him.
Well, Drake.
I don't think that him and Drake were beefing. Drake tried to sign him one time because they're both from Canada, and he wasn't with it.
Yeah, he's got little man syndrome. Sorry to all the short.
But I don't know.
Yeah, so she identified him as her shooter, and then so Megan announced she felt forced to defend herself and say that it was Tori Lanez that shot her, and people started calling her a snitch. Yeah. And first of all, which one of y'all from the streets? I didn't know y'all had a code. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I've seen some people that I knew personally say some stuff like that, and they have big platforms just because of what they do. And I had to just write them. I'm like, what will make you think that this girl is snitching on this boy?
He shot her, not she witnessed shooting somewhere.
Yeah, she literally had to get the bullets taken out of her feet. And y'all seen her telling her that she lying and all this other stuff. Like, that shit was really bothering me.
Yeah, it should bother you. And then not only that, aside from that, it's actual like video footage from a helicopter of him looking like a dead starfish on the side of the road and her walking with blood off her feet. My thing is, I know I've said on previous episodes, like, listen, I'm snitching. Let me be very clear. When it comes to like street stuff, I don't got nothing to do with that. I don't know nothing about none of that. I don't know nothing. Yeah. But if somebody shoot me or harm my family, you are crazy if you think I'm not finna say something. If I know you brought harm to someone close to me or myself, I'm telling names. I'm giving them your ad. I don't care. You gonna pay for what you did to me, baby.
I think that people just I think what it is that people look at gangsters and all that stuff and they want to be a part of that. But realistically, y'all doing this and y'all work at AutoZone, living in or working somewhere inside of a cubicle or something like that. You're not a street.
Hold on now. No, just playing. You right though.
I'm just saying, but you wouldn't be at work trying to be a street, live by some street code.
Yeah, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's people out here that's really living their life. And then I think that it's just a really big difference between her and 6ix9ine because I've seen people keep comparing her situation to 6ix9ine, and I'm like, 6ix9ine really
we expected 6ix9ine
intentionally inserted himself in some drama that had nothing to do with him or trying to be street anyway. Let me just say that he was trying
he
to be
was
a hood
created
nigga.
into a thug.
Yeah, and then he got himself caught up and snitched because they did something. But she literally got shot. I mean,
She got shot, and
it
there
don't
were
matter
witnesses.
what she said. It don't matter what she did, because even me at one point, I wasn't denying nothing that she said, but I'm like, what's going on? Because I don't think that her and Kelsey are friends anymore. And I'm like, what really happened?
Something happened at night, because she never said what they were arguing about.
Yeah. But she said that she was in the front seat and everybody was in the back seat. And then she had to get out of the car because of the police. And then, boom, shot or something like that. And she got out and started walking, and he shot her while she was walking away.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, because I don't think the police had been called yet. Yeah, and that's crazy to me. And so not only that, she even protected him by not even telling the police he shot her.
That's the part for me. That was the
It's
part for
like,
me.
and I felt like that's what
lying.
was happening. Because remember, I talked about them upgrading his charges, and initially they were saying that she was cut by some glass and that he was just getting charged with the possession. I'm like, she must just didn't want to tell them that he shot her. Yeah. And that's exactly what it was. And then people are talking about, oh, you lame for that. I woke up with more blood than I have right now.
Yeah.
Call me lame.
I was pissed off. I just feel like, because if that was you or somebody that was really close to you, I don't think that people would attack the situation the same. And if they did, they have mental issues and need to get seen.
And you know what? Honestly, it ties back to what we talked about with the Jeffree Starr thing, like with this clout and people just saying stuff. Like, I truly believe. Yeah, Drvco's supposed to tell to keep going off. This ain't never happened while we was recording. I think he into some kind of kink play, fire play. Hey, he's a lot going. You might need to burn some sage. Okay, so dang, what was I saying? You were saying
that it ties back to the Jeffree Starr situation.
Yeah, so people were saying stupid and outlandish stuff about her, like against her. I think for reactions. And you know what's so funny? Maybe I put too much value in people that have verified accounts. I be thinking that they have some kind of sense of responsibility or maturity, where they won't say stupid stuff because they have a big platform. But there are people. I mean, I just can't believe. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the blue check actually makes you dumber. I ain't gonna say dumber, but I really hate that when people become celebrities or whatever the case may be, that a lot of those people kind of detach away from regular everyday life in reality. Like, I understand, like, you know, you got your glow up or whatever the case may be, but I just feel like I don't expect you to just be a activist for everything or to whatever, but in my head I'm like, you came from the hood or you came from these different places, so I would expect you to kind of understand like the problems that people go through and just everyday stuff. Just because you have enough money to kind of like dismiss all the stuff that normal people go through, like I don't know, I just don't get that. I don't get it, because
first of all, a lot of famous people are lame.
Yeah.
Lame. And they might play hard and they might be able to get away with that because a lot of people don't know them. But a lot of these same folks, I mean, honestly, some of them probably wouldn't even touch a gun. They probably drop it because they scared. So it's just so crazy that y'all have insight. I just can't believe that the first thing that people could think of when she said that he shot her was that she was a snitch. She was the victim. That's what I don't mean to keep repeating myself, but she was the one that was shot. What is the problem here? What I don't understand. What if a kid was hurt? Do you like, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. And that's why I want to believe these people don't genuinely think she's a snitch, that they just want attention and they don't love themselves and they wish that they had been shot by somebody that has a high profile. Maybe that's what it is. Because I just can't seem to understand what could justify people feeling that way. And it's just frustrating. So obviously that brought up a discussion on social media about Black men not protecting Black women, or people not believing Black women. You know, number one, from her being, people are saying she was lying, that she wasn't shot. And then she even uploaded pictures from her wounds and they're like, oh, this ain't lining up with what you said and yada, yada, yada. And, you know, there are so many situations I've been in where I probably didn't have the real like ability to protect myself. Like, you know, do you remember that time when I stayed at Park Greenbrier and it was like a whole bunch of dudes?
How could I ever forget that? I think about that probably once a week.
So okay, so I stay in these apartments, and it was real ratchet or whatever. And so it was this one building. Y'all know every hood got if it's apartments, it's always a building where everybody kick it at. So
Yeah.
in my apartments, it was the first building you drive past when you're coming in, but I didn't have a car, so I had to walk. And so typically when I come home, the time of day to be, people don't really be outside like that. And so anyway, the building was the building A, and these dudes was just like, they was kicking it in the walkway. Like I couldn't even cut through the building. I had to walk the long way because in my experience, I can walk by a group of dudes or I can walk by a dude and they're touching me, grabbing me, putting their hands where it don't supposed to be at, taking my hand. You know what I'm saying? What I'm supposed to do? I'm going to fight them. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to do whatever I can to avoid these kind of situations because who going to have my back? So anyway, when these guys was like calling my name, like, hey, Shaw, come here. I was on the phone with Chris. Now I had to, y'all, I swear, it's funny now. But I had to go on the
we
act
could laugh
alone.
about it, but it was
Yeah, but I had to pretend like I was crying because I said that I'm not going to repeat what relative it is because God forbid that ever happen anytime soon. But I had said that this person in my family died, and then they were like, oh, because they was like, what's wrong with you? And that's when I told them. And then the one dude was like, she lying. I'm like, oh, I gotta go. First of all, why would I be like? I wasn't even close enough for them to see tears. And I'm like, dang. And I'm just trying to think about what would have happened if I would have cut through that building. I'm just like, oh my God. So I remember one time I was in underground, like, and I don't know how underground look now. I ain't been out there in decades, but there's this part where you come up on the escalator where you know it's like that glass house looking thing.
On what?
When you come from underground.
Yeah, the top part.
Yeah, so I was coming from up the escalator, and this guy just like came up next to me and grabbed my hand and was like, "What's up, baby?" And I like snatched my hand out my hand. I was like, "Excuse you." And look at that. I used to say some cut those. I used to be so rude, but I just had to. I feel like I just had to defend myself all the time. But anyway, I remember the dude was like, "What the F wrong with you, B?" And I'm like, "Sir, you grabbed my hand. You could have herpes on your hand or something."
That's what I'm saying. He could have had a razor in between his fingers and cut
or
you.
Something. Oh, I don't mean to make.
I think about the craziest things, so I get it.
No, for real. And I don't mean to like stigmatize herpes, but I'm just saying people are dirty, they are nasty, they are like you don't know me. Why are you touching me? And and I'm sure any woman listening to this right now can tell you a story about how she will avoid a group of men or a particular man in some kind of environment because they will violate them. I mean, it'll be times that I have crossed the street to inconvenience myself to at least have a day where I ain't got to be like cussing a dude out to leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in the dark, on dark side streets, train stations, going home to my apartments. It's just like, what is y'all's problem? And it's like, you would think that these men would think of the fact that they have mothers or sisters or daughters or aunties or cousins or whatever, and they would want to treat them with the same respect that they would expect for their relative, but it's really not like that. And it's like, sick. It's crazy. And it's like, even when I think of Tori Lanez, like, I don't know if he has kids, but you have women. I know you have women in your life. You are a public figure. And of all people to bring any harm to, you do it to another public figure. You think that you just finna like feed whatever information you want to feed to social media to make her look bad.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me. It just doesn't make sense. And it's just like the Trey Songz thing when people were talking crazy about people that accuse Trey Songz of doing certain stuff. And then we have Keke Palmer, who's never given us any reason to doubt anything that she said. She speaks out like, look, I tried to tell y'all. And this is going on.
She said two things about two different people, and people didn't believe her, and they both were true. The one about August Alsina and her and Tori. Well, I mean, not Tori Lanez. Who was it? Trey Songz.
Trey Songz, you're right about the Tori. You got to check her, and she was like, "Sir, we were never even together."
Yeah, like it was a mess. I had a situation that just recently happened to me last Sunday. I went to get some food at JR Crickets with Jasmine, my friend Jasmine that does hair. Granted, she has a really nice body. She got her body done. She's open about that. So she got her body done, but she has a really nice body. And she had on like a fitted dress, and it was nighttime. So we went to just get food and a drink because we worked all day. You know, she is like a super entrepreneur. Like she owns a salon and she does like online classes. The girl has like clients out the ass. Like she just works hard for what she has. But we were leaving out of the restaurant after ordering our food, and it was like a group of dudes parked next to me. Like I parked basically my car was in between her car and the dudes. So when we were walking back to the car, the dude, I'm walking next to her, and the dudes was literally yelling at her, talking about, hey girl, what club you work at? I've had conversations with her where she's like, she gets uncomfortable because she said that she thinks that she said that like she regrets getting her body done because she be feeling like people be attacking her. She wants to get lipos to get a smaller body because she's very curvy, and she's like, she doesn't like the attention that it gives her. So when it happened to her, she just immediately like shut down. I saw her like just get kind of sad. She just sat in her car. And she was like, I don't even want to get out to get my food. Like and I told her I would get it.
I know the feeling, and I'm flat. I got titties with no booty, and I
But I ended up having to check the dude myself because I'm like, I was like, you see that she's not responding to you for one, and I'm scared to even do that because I'm gay, so they definitely gonna
they're gonna be like that. Now they pride kicking in, like, who you talking to?
Yeah, so I was like, can you chill? Because I'm like, she doesn't dance. And he was like, oh, what she do? I was like, I mean, at this point, it don't really matter.
Why does it matter? Okay. Oh my God.
It doesn't matter. And so I'm just like, you gotta chill. I'm like, she uncomfortable with that. Like, she's not even comfortable. And so he just kept like staring at her, like hawking her. Like he got out the car and everything, like staring. So I'm scared because I'm like, me saying something to him, I could get potentially shot or something.
Anything could happen because you're trying to defend your friend.
Yeah, it was just a lot. So I was just like, I told her, I was like, I'll just get our food for us. And then she kept like texting me from the car, just like, I can't believe it happened. I feel so uncomfortable. But it's just so sad that
I know the exact feeling.
And it's just so sad the fact that women have to feel like that. Like these are people that are supposed to be protecting you and making you feel safe and making you feel, better. But y'all, that's demeaning. Like I wouldn't even want people to just look like you don't know me. And you just looking at me talking about what club I work at. So you've already generalized the fact that I'm a fucking stripper.
10 times out of 10, the dude that you see coming your way is gonna pull that. Like it gets to the point, it's so draining. I swear to God. I remember when I still lived on the west side, I look back at how I used to look at that time, and I know yet the bar was low, okay? But I used to, you could just know, like, I know he's finna try to talk to me. So I used to pretend I'm on the phone, but nowadays you can't even do that. They're gonna snatch your phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's so man, I can't even. I swear to God, there are so many. I think it's a little bit different now because of the environment that I be in. Like I work different kind of jobs. Like it's kind of way more low key. But when I used to just be out and about and running errands, I can look like a bum. I can have on a prom dress with an oversized T-shirt on top of it and some Jesus sandals. Okay, Diane Shouter, what's your name? Like, bro, it's one thing to be genuinely interested in me and you want to get to know me, but you're not. You just pick one. Pick one. Like I don't even know what to call it. You just try shooting your shot with everybody, and it's like now I got to be worried about you trying to carjack me, take my phone, take my purse. Like they see a woman and they see an opportunity of weakness. You know what I'm saying? They think they're gonna have their way, and if you don't get them, I literally know a girl who used to stay in Bedford Pines, and she said this dude tried to holler at her, and she said no, this man threw a brick at the back of her head. A brick. Can you imagine being that weak that you can't even be told no? That you gotta throw a brick at somebody.
And that's the scary part, that you can't even tell dudes no nowadays. You can't even get them a fake number because they're gonna try to
right then and there.
They're gonna call you right then and there. That just make you feel safe. It's just like I don't feel safe with. I don't even. This is making me uncomfortable. So I should be able to just walk away, like say no and go away. But people are so weird and so prideful, and they just want to feel manly that they'll do anything just to take that back, because they feel like their manhood was stripped because you told them no.
It's so annoying. And that's why, women want a man that is like, that appears to be strong or can protect them and things like that. Cause it's like, I've been tried by a dude while I'm with a dude. And I'm like, you ain't gonna say nothing? Like, what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, well, what you gonna do if it was a gun to my head? I never forget, that time we had got robbed and AJ had my back and this man had a gun to my head. And this man AJ checked him, the guy with the gun, for me. And I'm like, he could have got himself killed trying to look out for me. And I'm just like, not that every dude should have to put their life on the line per se, but if that respect for women would be universal, then we wouldn't be having these problems. Like nobody shouldn't have even been comfortable putting no gun to no head of no 17-year-old. You know what I'm saying? And then get checked by a 17-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of them things like that. I think I remember one time this guy came to my house. I don't even know if he classifies as a celebrity, but he is one of them. Okay, he be among them. And that's all I'm gonna say. We met on social media. And he came to my house one night, and I was so green. I really thought that he was really trying to kick it. This was like early on. This is when I first started like being on my own, when we was like, I guess you could say freshman in college. So I'm just thinking like, this guy is just cool. He just want to kick us. I'm like, why would he want to holler at me? I sometimes I think about how clueless I was. I'd be like, Alicia, now how in the world? Anyway, so this guy came over, and right away he thought he was finna get some, he thought he was finna work in his favor. And so it did not. And then he tried to like, he didn't try to force himself on me, but he definitely put his hands on me where he should not have. And at this time, I was talking to this other guy who I was getting to know. Like, I wasn't in a relationship yet, but I was telling him, like, man, this dude just came over here and he did it. And I was shook. I really was. And he cussed me out. He called me a sucker, told me I wasted his time coming over. Now, had I had, and this is not to blame myself whatsoever, had that been my present day mind, he would have never had the invitation to come over to begin with. But I'm just thinking it's innocent, because it just was not, like, we used to joke with each other all the time. I just really thought, I don't even know. But anyway, and even now, if I see him, I don't see him at Lennox so many times, and I try to avoid him, and he'll come up to me and call, like, he don't ever call, and I ain't gonna say he called me out my name, but he just always got something smart to say, and I just be like, can you just leave me alone? I had to like block him. Anyway, so I told the guy I was talking to, he was just like, dang, that's crazy. And it's like, okay. Now, I don't expect you to cuss him out through the phone while you're on the phone with me, but I want you to feel some kind of way.
Let me know that you probably do the same shit.
Yeah, or you just are a pussy, and it was the latter. So, you know what I'm saying? I just want to feel like you, like, if I call my man right now and tell him a man spit by my tire, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the bond money ready, because I know he ain't playing about nothing like that. And I say the same. Yeah, I've been in a couple relationships where I could tell the dude really had my back, but that particular dude, when I told him that, I'm just like, so you don't care, like, and I don't know what to do. I just, oh my god, I just hate that whole situation even happen. I just couldn't believe it. He tried to use like his celebrity access to like get me to like kick it with him and do what he wanted me to do. This is really what he's saying to me, huh?
A lot of photographers do that, especially because they know
he's not a photographer.
I know, but I'm just saying in general. Like, I know a lot of photographers that I mean, I don't know them, but I'm just saying in general, I know that a lot of photographers do shit like that because they know that girls like photo shoot.
I promise to God, it didn't change nothing for me. He literally was like, come on, it's benefits for messing with me. Just really saying this lame game. It probably worked on somebody, but it definitely didn't work on me. Huh?
He said that out of his mouth.
I swear to God on everything I love, he said that to me. And I just was like, wow, what is this? This is weird. Like, it really was freaking weird. So anyway, I wrote down a couple of situations where I felt like, I wasn't being protected. I remember one time, this was a positive actually. So I was in a car with this is in an old situation that I was in, and I was in a car with his uncle who came to get us I think our car broke down or something like that. But his uncle, who was, I guess, drunk, which we didn't know before he came to get us. And so he was just like swerving and speeding, and the guy that I was with like spazzed on him. He was like, hey man, you need to chill, got my girl in the car, blah, 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 blah. And I just was like, it made me feel good. Obviously he couldn't just take the wheel and fix it, but it made me feel more confident and like, okay, I know it ain't the fact that he says slow down. He ain't say slow down before you hit, so he's like, slow down, you got my girl in the car type thing. So that made me, I just feel like things like that kind of reaffirmed that, like, okay, I know you got my back, because sometimes these situations might not ever happen, so you don't even know where you standing at. But I do know that I have enough common sense now to be able to tell by a guy's demeanor if he would like have my back, like just his mannerisms or how he get mad at any little thing. You be like, oh, I know you don't play about me.
Period. I'm definitely not a woman. I don't want to put myself in a woman's shoes because I can't relate to any story with dealing with women. However, I do. I've had certain instances where I've always thought to myself, like, just imagine if I was a woman and had to deal with this situation. Like, it could have been worse. Like, I think that since I am a man, like, people will try me because I've been tried so many times on some really like weird shit.
Yeah.
But I think that just because I'm bigger and like I'm a man, they know, like, all right, I'm gonna try to a certain level because I know he'll probably
how
pop
far
out.
I can go.
Yeah, but I just had situations like I remember a lot of the time it happened when I was in high school. Well, not a lot, but I had a situation happen when I was in high school where one of my friends from New Orleans, they moved here from New Orleans because of Katrina. I used to hang out with her every day after school. Like, we used to walk home from school together. And so this particular day, one of her uncles used to live in the apartments with her, and he was like a younger uncle. He was like 30 at the time. and he used to live in apartments with her, and he used to take her places. Like whenever her mom needed her to do something, she was like, "Oh, go ask him, drop you." So this particular day, I got in the car with her, and she needed to run in the gas station to get something for her mama, and I'm in the back seat. While she in the gas station, literally in front of the gas station, this dude flashed me and was like trying to like get me to touch him and all this other stuff. And I'm like, in my head, my heart was just racing so fast. And I'm like, please hurry up and come out this store. I never told her that, but because I was just like, I don't know if she know that her uncle is into guys, or maybe she does. I don't know. But I
Sorry,
just
I'll
was
make
like, this is so scary. And and that happened to me a lot. Like I've had somebody flash me on the train. I've had people to like flash me at red lights, like in the bathroom, like just try me on some crazy shit, like just for
And
real. Like,
what do they expect you to do? Like, what are you supposed to? How are you supposed to read?
I don't know. Like, and it's just so scary. Like, I just in that moment, I don't never be scared. Like I never be like, well, in that particular moment that was the first time I ever
It's awkward.
experienced something like that. But I never just really realized how dangerous it is until after it happened. Like when I got home or something, I'd be
like, did that happen?
like, what the fuck? Like this could have went this way. But when in the act of it, I'm thinking, hey, how can I get out of this situation? And what I got to do to make them scared of me? That's always in my head. What the fuck do I need to say or do to make them realize that I'm not finna play with them? That's always like my first action.
I feel like when people are sick in the head like that, can you even scare them? It's like you just need some help. Like you need to get away from me and seek help ASAP.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Most of the weird stuff that happened to me happened on Marta. Like it's been times where a dude don't flash himself to me on Mar to try to make me touch him, like in the situation you had. I remember a time I was on the train going to school, and a guy was literally like pleasing himself while staring at me on the train. This was in college too.
My mama told me that happened to her one time, and she went crazy, child.
Yes, and so I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what it was weird, man. You know, sometimes these situations, I know some people, their reaction time is always to spaz, but I've never been somebody who have a temper like that. So when situations like that happen, I usually just have to like calculate it. But by then it's like, okay, just don't look back, get off the train ASAP, just leave. I remember now that was like on my way to school, and even then I told the guy that I was talking to, and he was like, "Oh, he crazy just like you." Yeah, I'm gonna charge it up to him being 19. So anyway, because we was young, we was early in college.
Yeah, and I mean, even though you can't really use that as an excuse, but I do realize that my thought process when I was 19, and the fact that I'm 31 is so different. My thought process from when I was 27, and now being 31 is way different.
Because you know, it comes from experience. Like everybody isn't raised with the lessons. Number one, everybody isn't always around people that are good examples or good leaders to even make you think about stuff. Because I think, you know, I know we always talking about life in the hood, but it's always survival mode. It's not always about like, we need to do this for others. It's more so like, get yourself out right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. No, it's like you can't always chalk it up to age. I know it's a modern day social media. They want to chalk it up to age, but I do know that me and that person were in a very, very uninformed mindset. So, you know, I would handle it completely different now. And then I remember one time I was at East Point train station one night, waiting on the bus, and this Hispanic guy, he had looked at me. He was like asking me what time it was, and I told him, and then he was like, showing, like waving at my face, like, "Oh, man, very pretty, very pretty." And then I was like, "Okay, thank you." You know, not thinking nothing of it. This guy he doesn't speak clear English. I'm thinking he don't mean no harm. And then he like taps me on the shoulder, and he's pleasing himself outside at the train station, right? You know, the side of the station where the buses come in at, and then it wasn't nobody out there. And so I just panicked. I got up and I like knocked on the fence, not the fence. It was like a little office where the employees work, like the security. And I was like, "Excuse me, this man just started doing this." And I told him. And so I guess he came out and talked to the guy, and he was like, he came back to me. He was like, he was like, the guy's clearly drunk. All I can do is ask him to leave the train station. So I'm like, I guess that's what I want. I didn't know what I wanted to happen. I just didn't want the man nowhere near me. And so he made him leave. And I feel like he probably should have done more than that. Yeah. But he probably didn't care. And he probably tried to chalk it up to the man being drunk. I remember going home to tell my mama what happened. And of course she spazzed and she called Marta, and they was like asking me if I wanted to press charges. But it just seemed like so much. I'm like, do I want to press charges? I don't know. I just know that should not have happened. And who am I pressing charges on? I don't even know who the man is.
It's a lot. It's just so sad that we have to live like that. And then the fact that all these women and kids are getting kidnapped and taken,
Sex
sex trafficked.
trafficked.
Like,
And it's like, even then, though, a lot of those might have been situations where somebody trusted a man and thought that he had good intentions, and now they're in a situation that they cannot get out of, and it's probably impossible to get out of, and they don't even know when they'll see their family again. And what's even sicker is that some of these people are people that we come across and think they're so cool and so funny and so nice, but they have this side of them or this alternate lifestyle of them that we never would have even imagined. I know I mentioned that about Trey Songz last week. Like, people are, predators, they are rapists, they are, they have sick mindsets. And it's like, you just wouldn't even know. Like, when we see these people come out, it'd be shocking because we're like, oh, such and such, he's so talented. Why would he do that? It's like, because he's sick in the head, sick. He needs help. I can't tell you how many times some dude just randomly started pleasing himself in front of me. I mean, I literally can't even count.
And a lot of times it happens, majority of the time it has happened at gay clubs, and this is why I don't like using the bathroom at gay clubs. Bars that are like specifically for LGBT community, they make the urinal one long. It look like a sink. It's like a metal.
Wow, like a pool.
And I feel like that style of toilet is popular like in the UK, but it's like one like long, like it looks like a low sink, and you just pee in there. So everybody's just looking at everybody.
Oh my goodness!
And so even at another bar, it's not like that, but the urinals are very close to each other, and it's not walls like from each one like it is in the regular bathroom. So I don't know. It just makes me uncomfortable. I definitely always use stalls because of that. But I've even had a situation that happened at a stall. Like, I was trying to go in the stall and there was people in there already trying to get me to come in there. I'm like,
oh my God. And does that work for them? So people just be like, okay.
But you know what? Some people are like just sick in the head. It's so many things that I won't speak of just because I don't want to make it seem like I'm like shaming sex workers or just sex positive people in a whole. But it's a difference between being sex positive and being a fucking predator. Like, that's
absolutely
different things. But yeah, it works for some people. Like, some people are into that. Some people literally like I've come across, like, because I'm a very, very curious person. I've come across a lot of like freak pages on Twitter where people literally like hang out at certain bathrooms because they know that people come there to link and do stuff in public. Like, people have like a fetish for public sex.
Yeah.
And it ain't just gay people, because I saw a video on
I know
Twitter it. That the highway 7585, right there in front of where Atlantic Station is, somebody had pulled over on the side of the highway and they both had on masks.
I saw that. Was it the clown?
Yeah, like a clown mask.
I saw that, and it was broad daylight.
Yeah.
He be doing it in random places all the time.
Yeah, like crazy places.
I'm like, then you dress like a clown.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the way because they were going the direction of traffic, people probably couldn't even tell what they was doing until they like drove past. So it's not like one of them things, like the people on the opposite side of the highway can't even see it. So it's like they slick can get away with it unless it's the police that drive up on them.
Yeah. And my thing about it is, and I tell people this all the time, I'm like, this OnlyFans shit gonna get y'all having a public indecency charge or whatever the charge gonna be, or you're gonna have to get charged with sex
trying to create content.
Yeah, because it's just too much for me. Like, I can't really get with that wave. I feel like if you're gonna do that, I feel like you need to do it in a place where no kids can possibly be around, no people can possibly be around, because honestly, I don't think that people realize that something like that could be very traumatic for somebody to see, especially people that have been raped before or something like that. So if they see something like that, or if somebody come up to them and they're putting out they fucking dicks and shit in pub, that could really send somebody to another place.
Yes,
what they've been through, and I don't think
absolutely right
about that. And it's just kind of fucked up. You just don't want to be that person to ignite somebody's trauma because of your fucking guilty pleasure, which is fucking sick in the head.
Oh my God. You're right, man. And that's my thing. And it's like, you know, at least from my perspective, dudes wonder why women don't trust them, or they accuse them of certain things, or they don't want to do certain things so soon, or a certain kind of way. And it's like, maybe you're not the one that did it to me, but it's our entire life's existence has been trying to defend ourselves against the people that's supposed to have our back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they always say like a girl's first love is supposed to be her dad. Now, obviously that's not the case for everybody, but this is somebody who's supposed to be setting the standard for how men are. I mean, it's like you get out here in the world, you're like, why would you do that to me? Like, why is this happening to me? Like, I don't understand. It's like, it's a whole different, and that's why I know people want to censor certain things, but I do sometimes think that children should be taught about certain things, maybe in a different kind of way or different levels earlier on, because I think that innocence, it obviously should be protected, but it's tough for somebody who's been sheltered for so long and they go out in the real world and they're just like, what is going on? Then people get into, they start having depression and anxiety and things because they don't really know how to handle it. And it sucks, you know. And I mean, it's a gift and a curse not having to deal with stuff like that. But when it does happen, I wish that people just would be equipped to handle it, you know, and people would be mentally stable enough to not make people feel uncomfortable.
It's just, I don't know. I think about stuff like that all the time. And I think about like just situations of it almost makes me like scared to bring kids in because it's like, damn, you know, I really want them. I feel like once the time comes where I do have kids, I really do want them to have the public school experience because I feel like that built my character.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? Like that built my character. But I do also see the reason why people do private schools. But even in those situations, people, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be away from certain things and safe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think it will introduce them to things that you didn't even think they was going to get introduced to being in private school. Because these are kids who got way more access in most cases.
Yeah, I feel like going to public school really was better. I don't know.
I agree. I totally agree. I'm glad I went to public school. When I had friends who went to private school, and I was like, I don't like that.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
No shade
to our listeners.
Yeah, like if you went to private school.
But all my friends who went to private school always said they wish they went to public school. Their parents were just trying to, you know, the thing is your parents have your best interests at heart. They might make decisions they feel is best for you, and you might not agree with that. But
yeah.
It's just
most definitely, yeah.
How life goes, I guess.
But I loved it. I love public school. I don't really have too much else to say because I can go on and on about this because I just witnessed so many different things, especially you know, working in the industry. I witnessed people that do and say just about anything just because of they feel like they want a career boost or just clout in general and want to get people caught up. Like I see people do crazy shit, so it's kind of crazy. So I can definitely talk about this topic all day. But I think the moral of the story is that we, as Black men, gay, straight, it doesn't matter, need to do better with protecting Black women because that's just like Beyonce said. They're the most disrespected people in the world. Most disrespected. What she said, I don't know verbatim.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, so I just feel like we have to do better at that. I feel like more people need to call their friends out.
Absolutely.
I feel like more people need to stop this agenda with these fake ass street codes, and none of y'all motherfuckers is from the streets for real.
Point blank.
It'd be people that grew up in big houses in suburban areas and all this other stuff, went to private school that would be claiming these street codes they don't know nothing about.
They have whole new personalities that they created on the internet.
Yeah, all because Nipsey Hussle died. But it's like, I don't get it.
I also feel like people need to, I get that you have a friend that you care about and you see them being accused of stuff, but I do think people need to get the facts before they just start saying crazy stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to the internet, because whatever you put out there, whether you delete your tweet or not, it's permanent and it's going to always be there. And I just think that a lot of
the archive exists.
Exactly. Like I think about the case with what's going on with Ellen DeGeneres, and people are saying that she's not a nice person to work with and all this other stuff. And then here come these other rich celebrities like, oh, Ellen was always nice to me. Of course she's gonna be nice to you.
Y'all motherfuckers is in the same.
Exactly. Y'all are alike. You probably mean yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it just looks so tacky when they go out there and be like, oh, but she was nice to me. It's like, okay, but you need to hear these people who work for her, people who she pays the bills for and how she's treating them and how she feels about them. So like, don't be rushing to, like, obviously you can defend your people, but when it's something that's sensitive like that, whether it's coming somebody's personal space or something traumatizing or being disrespected, you need to get your facts before you start just going out there. Like, this is not the culture for that, especially when it comes to multiple people who are saying the same thing. Like, I always say, everybody ain't gonna tell the same lie. Ain't no round table where like, all right, on the 12th, you're going to accuse her for flipping the table. On the 2nd, she put ice on my back. It's like, no, you need to listen to these people.
You take that too far.
Anyways, yeah, man. I mean, that's really it. Honestly, I just, to all the women who are listening, at the very least, like, y'all just, try to be as strong.
Get a strap.
Yeah, get the strap, please. Point blank, period. Man, I had some pepper spray, but they confiscated it when I went to see Angela Yee's lip service live. The lady was like, just come find me after the show. Girl, after the show, it wasn't nobody to be found. But anyway.
Yeah, girl, I'm not doing all that.
But no, honestly, I agree. Yeah. So that's really it. Honestly, I just, I think that obviously women, apparently we only got each other out here in these streets. I mean, there are some men that have our back, but it ain't enough for them to replace the ones who don't have our back at all. So we just, it's us against the world, I guess, y'all, until they get some act right. And I know it's impossible to ask the entire world to get their act right, but ain't nothing wrong with holding people accountable for their lack of respect.
No, it ain't. Fuck them hoes.
Period.
We shooting back. The girl shooting back. Listen, I promise you, I would have shot Tori if I was there.
Well, if she had a gun, she probably didn't even think.
I'm saying if it was me that was around when it happened to her, I would have got him back for it because you just ain't finna do that to my girl.
Man, it's crazy. It's really sad, man. Honestly, I hate that Megan Thee Stallion has been in all these different situations so soon in her career. She's just dealing with a whole lot, and this was the last thing that she needed to be dealing with publicly.
Yeah, it's a lot. Just
on a lighter note, who you think is gonna win this Brandy and Monica versus?
Okay, so here's my thing. Okay, so I've always been a person that's been very vocal about my strong love for Brandy. And I feel like we all grew up on both of them, like for real. But I think that this is more so the versus battle is something that's like about hits, about songs that like just like are staples in the Black community. And I'm not trying to take away from Brandy because I think that she's
iconic.
She is iconic. I mean, has some of the best songs ever. But I think what it is that Monica has songs that to this day Black people just resonate with. They listen
this
to
Black woman right here, baby.
Yeah, they resonate. They resonate with her. The songs, just even me, because I had to step back because I'm a Brandy stan, so I had to step back and I'm like, all right, let's be real about this battle. Monica got this under the belt. Like I was listening, I was just thinking about
Monica had it before Versus was even created. Okay,
it's like even every era. I mean, I ain't gonna say more so recently because I don't know if people be listening to Monica music like that. No shade, I love Monica to death, but I'm saying just her hits. Like even in high school, like just thinking about Sideline Ho, that album with Sideline Ho there, and
I had the ringtone, baby.
What's the song?
Why her?
No. Hold on. Dang, what was the one that she had Young Buck in the video?
Young Buck.
Remember she was dating Young Buck, I think, at one point.
Should have known better than to think I would leave. The one about C Murder?
She was in her bag.
Let me say something. So, okay, I will say, like you said, Versus is about hits that stick. Stick like grits. Okay, Monica got this in the bag, but what I'm not finna tolerate on Twitter is y'all talking about Monica can't sing. Excuse me?
Oh my God.
Now, I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day who does not have a social media account, and he was saying that he thinks that Brandy is a better singer than Monica. And at first, I was like, but I will say that Brandy has a very, very dynamic voice, and so I
definitely agree with him. I definitely agree that Brandy does have have her in the voice department, but this isn't about a singing contest. This is about hit.
It's not, but I just wanted to, make my point clear. So for me, I love a soulful voice, and I think that Monica has a soulful voice. Now, I will say that as far as range, Brandy got it, but I can't think of a single Brandy song that made me jump up out the bed and turn my swag on. I'm sorry. You can play I should make a move, but I won't, baby. I'm finna be walking it out. I'm finna be got there dropping like it's hot. Let me tell you something. And Monica from the hood, we seen her with our own 2 eyes at Greenbrier Mall. At the peak, mind you, she wasn't a nobody when we seen her at Greenbrier.
Monica still is like that to his day. That lady.
You get what I'm saying? She keep her and her last name Arnold. That's my cousin. You did what I'm saying?
Right.
But when it come to hits, I'm sorry, baby. Monica got that. Now, Brandy is iconic pop star, TV star, Barbie doll star, movie star. Can never take
Barbie
it away
doll
from
star
her.
For me, you are really tripping.
What I'm just saying. So I'm just saying, Brandy. It has way more notoriety, I would say, but Monica is that girl with them hits, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite rappers is Drvco, and my favorite singer is Monica. It only made sense that they got children together.
Drvco is definitely one of my favorite rappers too. Let me tell you something.
Point blank, period. Anyway, I just want to ask people who listen. I am looking to get veneers. I have a dentist that I'm interested in working with. But if any of you guys have a referral for veneers, send them my way. I'm trying to get my teeth.
Dr. Sam Soleil in Beverly Hills. Period.
Yes, but he don't have any consultation. He's like backed up. He booked out. And then there's the other lady you sent me in Buckhead. She don't have nothing no time soon ever. So I'm just trying to see what alternatives are. I know he's not the only one. But yeah, I'm just interested. So I want to see what options are. I'm trying to do a consultation maybe late September, early October, me and a friend. So yeah, just let me know. Hey.
Okay. I actually want to get veneers too, but I definitely want to I want to get it to level out my face. I feel like my face is crooked, and it could be because of my teeth.
Well, that's awkward. Maybe you should get lipo. I'm getting that too. No, I'm just kidding. I go back and forth with the body thing, but I do want to, I don't really care as much about that, but I used to have perfect teeth, and then I went and got some teeth pulled, and now my teeth look like some project windows. Some on up, some on down.
Alicia.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to the 85th episode of OD Podcast. I actually think this was a good episode. I hope that people, maybe I got some insight on just some things they didn't realize that happens to the women around them or even the men around them. If you guys have some stories to share them with us. I would like to hear about it. Just to, kind of reaffirm that we ain't out here by ourselves, ladies.
Period. Let a girl know.
Hey, give me a project chick. Give me a hood rat trick. What? Hey, did you see Turk talking about him and Lil Wayne got crabs together?
Too close. Can't talk about it.
Yeah, you're right. All right, y'all. That's our time. Gotta go.